this winter edition of how to build a flame tube. Yes, outside it's snowing, and yes, I'm sick, but this won't keep me from working in the garage. So, a flame tube. What is a flame tube? A flame tube is an essential component for your jet engine. It will contain the flame while it burns in the combustor. It is a key component. If you mess up the flame tube, your jet engine will probably not start. And it is also a very time-consuming component to build, since it involves a lot of drilling and a lot of welding. So my suggestion is build it correctly on your first shot, and you probably won't have major drawbacks on your jet engine. The design of a flame tube is rather complicated. It involves way too advanced thermodynamics for us to even get in close to detail. My suggestion is to build the flame tube according to jet specs design criterion. It's a program you can find on Google. Just Google jet specs. It'll give you you can download a free program which gives you an oversized but functional flame tube. Basically, what is a flame tube? Well, I'll show you a flame tube on my previous version. This is the guy that I've been using until now, and today I'm going to replace with a new flame tube. The flame tube essentially is a drilled piece of metal tube. Nothing more complicated, nothing more simple than that. Its function is to contain the flame inside the combustor. So you have to imagine this piece inside another tube. The important thing is to drill the right amount of holes. The holes are important for two reasons. First reason, it'll keep the flame inside, reaching a flammable mixture. Second reason, it'll also give you the sufficient air access in order to lower your turbine inlet temperature, such to a temperature that you won't actually melt your turbine blades. So, once again, you find the design criterion on your own. I'll show you the basic guidelines for building it. Okay, today I'm going to be using the action cam that my girlfriend bought me for Christmas. So hopefully having two hands free will allow me to show you better and easier what I'm doing. Let's start from the power tools you're going to need. You're going to need a drill, an angle grinder, and of course the angle grinding discs. These need to be specifically for cutting metal. You're going to need a welding machine. Electric arc welding machine is fine. Again, this is a rough design of a jet engine. It's not precise mechanics or anything like that. Electrodes, of course. Then, the drill bits. You're going to need 3 drill bits. Why 3? Because you have 3 zones of your flame tube. A primary zone, a secondary zone, and a tertiary zone. Each zone has different diameters for the holes. Of course, the actual sizes are going to depend on your design, but the idea is the same for every design. Then, since my design has the flame tube incorporated on the combustion chamber cap, I'm going to also need to put in a hole for the spark plug, which needs to be threaded. So I have a threading device and of course a drill bit for making that hole. Then we're going to need a tube for the actual flame tube, the cap, because my design, of course, as I said before, involves the flame tube attached to the cap, a ruler to draw the straight lines on the flame tube for the grid I'm going to show you later, and I use a correction pen. This allows you to draw on a tube even if it's dark and even if it's filthy. Okay, this is the flame tube. Previously this morning I already drew the grid with the holes positioned on the flame tube, so I'll show you quickly what I obtained. As you can see, I marked all the holes I'm going to need to drill on this piece of metal. The primary zone, as you can see, the secondary zone, and the tertiary zone. The holes, as you can see, are more closely fit in the primary zone, but they are also smaller, as we go to the secondary zone, there are going to be less holes, but they're going to be bigger. And finally, the tertiary zone has the biggest holes, but only a few of them, as you can see. First things first, you're probably going to want to cut the tube to the desired length. As you can see, the white line shows us the length we're going to cut it to. Then I suggest you drill the holes, and then your flame tube essentially is done. Of course, in my design, I'm going to have to attach it to the cap of the combustion chamber, but that really depends on what your case is. Flame tube has just been cut to the desired length. As you can see, the cut is quite uneven, but it's the best I could do with the handheld angle grinder. Now comes the most tedious part, to drill the holes. And to do this, you must be very precise when doing it, because on how the holes come out depends the whole functioning of your flame. Here we go. The so hard work for flame tube is finally finished in its basic component. Now we're going to have to weld this guy to the cap of the combustion chamber, which will eventually go to the combustion chamber. Jet engine flame tube is finished. As you can see, it was only a matter of precise drilling and some welding, and you too can build your own flame tube. Now the next step is to insert it onto the combustion chamber, and hopefully we'll have a successful result. So thanks for watching my video. We'll get in touch next time. Happy New Year's.